Good evening and welcome to the meeting of the Utilities Committee. It is January 22nd. It's Monday and it's just a little bit before 6 o'clock. My name is John Twilliger. I am the chairperson of this committee. To my left is Mr. Twist and to my right is Mr. Lutz. And we are here this evening to have discussion and some education on sanitary sewage pretreatment ordinance amendments.
We're going to be here for hours.
I'm ready.
Gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The recommendation from the staff is the council amend the pretreatment program section of the code, that is section 915. In your packet, you do have the proposed changes. This is after we discussing with Ohio EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, as part of our audit that we recently were successful at. They recommended that we make these changes to clarify some of our enforcement ability. We are not recommending or requesting emergency legislation. Staff is here if you've got more technical questions, such as what a slug load discharge is, because that's going to be on the test.
Is it test multiple guess?
I hope so.
Okay. Mr. Twist.
When I was reading through the slug discharges, or whatever that is, mainly this is for those that might be changing their operation, that they have to notify us of when those changes would happen. So if they suddenly change their operations that could cause the water to be contaminated or made some form of adjustment, we're putting this in based on the recommendation of the EPA to make it more clear for them to notify us directly of what was happening.
That's correct.
Sweet. Boy,
Wordage and verbiage that has been used and proven and meets all criteria.
I believe this language was suggested by the Ohio EPA. So really can't go wrong there.
There you go. I'm just curious, how many businesses do we have that participate in our industrial pretreatment program?
I'm Ken Parks, the pretreatment coordinator for the city of Troy. We have 6 permitted industries in the city of Troy right now.
Do we have an idea of how many of those 6 will be impacted by this?
This would apply to all those permitted industries. Some industries could discharge more serious pollutants than others, but they would all have the potential to give us a slug load discharge of some kind or another. For example, oil and grease or pH.
And how will we communicate, how will we communicate with them these changes have been made? Do we call them in? Do we send a letter to them? How do we communicate?
Well, as the pretreatment coordinator, I'm in constant contact with my industries. I contact them by email, so when these changes are passed, I would include an email and send them out to those industries.
And they would they were going to reach out to you if they have questions. You're going to help explain that to them, review that. Anything they might need, we would walk them through that. They're not going to be, hey, interpret it on your own, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Do we know of any of the 6 businesses that might have to change their processes because of this?
Or are we specifically talking about the slug load discharge part of it?
No, it looks like we're now putting limits on arsenic, hexavalent chromium, total chromium, free cyanide. Do we know if any of that stuff's getting in the system already?
All the permitted industries have a limits page to their permit, and these pollutants are on that limits page, so we're monitoring for those now on all those industries.
Okay. And you would like?
Questions from
Oh, out here we go. Questions from council persons and/or a comment from city? Now,
Move forward.
move forward, and this
Yep.
doesn't have to have emergency, correct?
That's
Okay.
correct, sir.
Mr. Lutz?
I concur.
Then we will move forward. Any other questions or comments?
No, sir.
Then we are adjourned.